Good morning from the For the See Me. This is Chris Robinson with your Trader's exclusive comment today. What are we looking at in the grains? Whole world's focusing on China. We had a little bit of a bounce in the outside markets. That's also helped give us a little bit of a bounce in the grains. You have a 1 month high in corn. You've got March beans trading above the 100-day moving average at 881. I talk a lot about technical levels and big chart areas you got to watch. I also like to watch the moving averages, 50, 100-day moving averages. When all else fails, everybody starts to look at those types of indicators. We are very oversold in the grains. There's a very large short bet. Anything could set off a short cover and rally. Looked like last night we were going to really get after it, but we backed off a little bit in the beans. What led us up, I think, was the firmness in the outside market, specifically in China, with the change in their GDP numbers. Now that could change. You've been watching these reports, but I think for the ags, if you're looking at the ags separately from everything else, you've really got to focus on the supply and demand and also on the big short position that the funds have. And then you got to look at the technicals. Those three things, I think, will give you opportunities to get some trades on, either going with the trend or counter trend trades. Look at those key 50, 100 moving averages in the corn and the beans. Fundamentally, we're still waiting on weather issues. There has not been a weather story as much as people have hoped for one. There has not been a major weather story coming out of South America. This is typically the time of the year where they start talking about that. Too much rain, not enough rain. And you know, that could change. That could also, again, I like to talk about opportunities. When you have a sharp move or a retracement, it gives you an opportunity to decide to take a position. And then once that position's on, you've got to manage it. But volatility, if moving forward, if we get some weather volatility, that may give you some chances to do something. I want to pull the car over very quickly and talk about livestock. Fats, feeder, and fat cattle, which are live cattle, feeder cattle, and also hogs. We've had really good technical moves in the fat cattle and feeder cattle. We're right now trading around in an area where there's some gaps on the charts. I'm not going to go into whole technical analysis class, but go look at those charts, look at the gaps. They may give you, again, opportunity to get in or out of trades based on what happens with those gaps. The last thing I want to talk about is a very good retracement in April hogs. Go back and look at the contract highs this past year and a half ago, down to the recent contract lows. We've come back to a key halfway back point, 50% retracement, and then we're on the verge of testing the 62% retracement. Those are important because in a market where there's no new fundamental story, people look at the technicals. So take a look at that chart, a really good retracement in the April hogs may give you an opportunity to make some money. Again, it's not so much the trade decision, whether or not you go long or go short, it's how you manage the trade once it's in place. From the For the See Me, this is Chris Robinson. Have a great day.